Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chad Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I do want to share with you guys all the latest injury news on the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings front. Packers got a lot of guys on the injury report, and the Vikings getting pretty damn healthy, specifically on the offensive line. So that's great news there. And then also a preview for the Week 12 matchup against the Green Bay Packers. But right before we walked in the studio today, the bosses were calling out Vikings fans saying we need more likes on our videos. So if you guys could help us out, our bosses challenged us to a lofty goal here of 1,000 likes on today's show. So if you guys could help me out, hit that thumbs up icon today. Or if you guys just want to get the good vibes rolling heading to Lambeau this weekend, hit that thumbs up icon. All right, let's dive into the Packers injury report here. It's a lengthy one, and there's some marquee names on their injury report, but most of these guys should be good to go. Starting with the safety position, Javon Bullard. He was a limited participant this past Wednesday at practice dealing with an ankle injury. Their star linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper. He is one of the best linebackers in the league. Talk about a guy that flies around, very physical player. That is who Cooper is. He is absolutely fantastic. I think when you think about some of the more premier defensive players, especially at the linebacker position, he doesn't get enough love. Every time you turn on the tape for the Packers, 56 is out there making a whole lot of plays, but he is dealing with a foot injury, but he should be good to go. Romeo Doubs, wide receiver, limited participant, dealing with a wrist injury, but he should be good to go. Question marks around Matthew Golden, though. Some of the Packers beat reporters are doubting that he'll be out there dealing with a wrist injury as well, but their kicker, Brandon McManus, should be out there full participant with a quad injury. But two guys did not practice. Now, Josh Jacobs did end up practicing in a limited fashion on Thursday, but on Wednesday he did not practice. Looking like he's probably not going to go, dealing with that knee injury he suffered against the New York Giants. So that's huge for the Vikings because Matt LaFleur loves to run the football. Their whole offense is based around Josh Jacobs. So he's dealing with a knee injury. And then also Nate Hobbs probably won't go, dealing with a knee injury as well. But they should have their starting quarterback, Jordan Love. He did hurt his left shoulder versus the New York Giants, but he's able to come back into that game, make some big-time throws. I actually thought Love's performance in the second half against the Giants was pretty damn good. His receivers weren't helping him out whatsoever, but he got that confidence going, and Toyota-thon starting on Wednesday. So if you know there on the Jordan Love front. But some other big-time names popping up for Green Bay. Micah Parsons, LP with a pectoral injury. He should be good to go, though. Zach Tom, question mark if he'll play. Offensive lineman dealing with the back injury. Obviously a little nerve-wracking there if I was a Packers fan. But you also got Lucas Van Ness hopping on there. Quay Walker and Christian Watson. Quay dealing with a neck injury, one of the better linebackers in the league as well, and then Christian Watson dealing with a knee injury, but he should be good to go. Now on the Vikings front, their Week 12 injury report, Christian Darrisaw, typical DMP on Thursday, but he should be out there. And then besides that, the Vikings are legitimately 110% healthy because I'm fully expecting Will Fries to play. Now with Grenard being limited, probably put it at 60, 70% if Grenard's out there. But Aaron Jones practiced in full, Ryan Kelly practiced in full. So, think about all the marquee players on this Vikings team, like Van Ginkel, Cashman, Josh Oliver, all these guys that have been banged up throughout the season. They'll be fully out there. But the biggest news here is Will Fries and Ryan Kelly. The Vikings, for the first time all season, for the first snap, they will have Darrisaw, Jackson, Kelly, Fries, and Brian O'Neill. I mean, the amount of times you showed that player 5 rank of their of the Vikings' potential starting offensive line was about 1,000 times this offseason because I couldn't wait to see it, and I will finally get to see it Week 12 here against the Green Bay Packers. But if you guys want Will Fries and Ryan Kelly to play this Sunday, hit me with those skulls down below in the comment section if you guys want the Vikes to have their starting offensive line out there this Sunday. Now, I do want to give a massive shout-out to today's sponsor, that being Harry's, a shaving company. And for a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. Now, I have had some pretty rough experiences with old razors in the past. Sometimes the razor would go way too dull, way too fast, and it would also start to irritate my neck. I just wasn't really enjoying the experience until I tried Harry's. It completely changed how I view shaving my face every single day because it has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face, a refined blade tech for a closer, smoother shave, a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort, and actually the handle is Harry's heaviest handle ever, and I absolutely loved it. It got the best shave I have ever had in my life, and if you guys check them out, you guys will think the exact same thing. So for a limited time, our listeners here at Vikings Now can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. This set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. All you got to do is head to harrys.com/chat to claim this offer. And after you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you here at Vikings Now by Chat Sports. All right, let's dive into the Green Bay Packers here. A pretty polarizing football team. At a certain point this season, they were the Super Bowl favorites. They were heavy favorites to win the NFC. The NFC North kind of came back down to reality over the last couple of weeks. But I think their calling card this year specifically is how good they are on the defensive side of the football. Micah Parsons, Edrin Cooper, they just got blue chippers. They got a great defensive coordinator. Jeff Hafley, he's not the most exotic defensive coordinator. Like, he is pretty polar opposite to Brian Flores. But I will say about Hafley, I always feel like the Green Bay Packers defensively, just watching them this year, there's a sense of swagger and there's a physicality to them. Like, they fly around the football field. Like, I still remember that Lions-Packers game from week 1. That was one of the most physical football games I've ever seen. But they rank out very well defensively, 7th in points, 6th in yards, 3 in yards per play, 12th in third down defense, 6 in total touchdowns per game. But offensively has been a little hit or miss. Big reason for that is because their quarterback is pretty hit or miss. So they're about middle of the pack in most, or slightly better than the middle of the pack in most statistics offensively. But the storyline for the Packers this year is just weird games for them. They had that week 3 game in Cleveland against the Browns where they ended up losing 13-10. They had the Cowboys game, which they should have lost that game if the Cowboys score operator wasn't a Green Bay Packers fan. But that was a tie ball game, 40-40. And the week 9 game, just happening against the Carolina Panthers, ended up losing that game 16-13. So the Packers, they have laid a couple of eggs this year, but still when they play their best football, they're a very good football team. And it just also comes down to which Jordan Love are you going to get? Are you going to get Jay Love where he's balling out, he's throwing off that back foot, he's looking cool, calm, and collected, and he's delivering some seeds? Or are we going to get the Jordan Love where he looks like a total bust? He is very similar to how we probably view J.J. McCarthy. It's just an up-and-down quarterback. But also Brian Flores has had a field day with Jordan Love, and specifically blitzing him. Last year, a Week 17 game at U.S. Bank Stadium, Flores had him in a blender. He blitzed on 55.9% of dropbacks, had 3 sacks, had 11 QB pressures, and the QB pressure percentage was 32.9. So Love, he has struggled against the blitz in the past, but he has had one of his better games of his NFL career because he was carving up the blitz. And this was happening on that Sunday night game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was 12 of 17, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, almost had a perfect quarterback rating against the blitz, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So clearly he's gotten a little better at it, but I fully expect Brian Flores to dial up the exotics, to dial up the crazy coverage looks, and hopefully just try to throw him off his groove early because he is kind of like a streaky shooter in basketball. If he sees the first couple of completions go in, he could get rolling throughout the game. But if he's off target early, could really derail an entire outing for Jordan Love. But this game, at the end of the day, is going to come down to J.J. McCarthy, just like it will every single week from here on out for the Minnesota Vikings, because I think they got a really, really good defense. They fly around the football field. Flores still has that team and that side of the football really, really locked in. And offensively, I still think KOC is dialing up good looks. The receivers, even though they have taken a step back from what they were last year in terms of drops and just creating separation, it's still one of the best support systems in the NFL. So if we could just get a good number 9 to show up this Sunday in Lambeau Field, the Vikings will have a good chance of winning. Truly. And the thing is with the J.J. McCarthy-led Vikings is we just need to see a clean 4 quarters, because he could have a terrible 2 quarters, then a great other 2 quarters. You have a really great 3 quarters, 1 bad 4th quarter. Just can we get a full 4 quarters of football from J.J. McCarthy? That'll be huge this weekend. And you also got to hope this for the Vikings, because the Packers are an up-and-down team. You just kind of hope they don't bring their A game, because I still think if the Packers bring their A-plus game, not a good chance the Vikings win this one. So you're hoping you get the Packers playing their B- game. Maybe you're playing your B-plus, A- game, and you could go steal a victory in Lambeau Field. But I also think this will be a big moment for Kevin O'Connell. Listen, KOC has been very, very good in the division as the Vikings head coach. You swept the Packers last year. You went 4-2 in the division. Obviously, you lose to the Lions twice like you always do. But, if KOC could kind of spark this team, keep them locked in, and you're just floating around, still in that in the hunt graphic, then you go on a run later on in the year, this would be a big moment for Kevin O'Connell to kind of remake himself hey, I am one of the best young offensive-minded head coaches in the league. I had J.J. McCarthy playing terrible football. We're still going to go on a playoff run. All that is on the table this weekend if you could get a win in Lambeau Field. But you guys let me know how you're feeling about the game. Predict the score for me down below in the comments section. Vikings, Packers, Lambeau Field, Week 12 NFC North matchup. Let me know your score predictions down below. We'll get on out of here. As always, let's go Vikes.